Well, here we are, Christmas Miracle, episode 116 of Stream of Thought, and my goodness, this is the end of the year extravaganza that we have an opportunity to get together one more time in the old studio.
Yeah.
We're both happen to be in town, happen to have a couple hours free, and so, man, we have got a show for you.
Yeah, we managed to just squeeze in one episode that we're actually going to break into maybe 2 or 3 parts. We haven't decided, but we've got... This is probably one of the longer episodes we did because we've been talking for at least 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So we're going to break it apart, but we're really excited to be back after, like a 6 or 7 or 8 week hiatus. Last time we had mentioned we weren't sure when we were going to be able to record again because Rick's was in Minneapolis and I have since then moved to LA, so it's a little difficult, but yeah, we're just really excited to be back.
And so we end up spending the next couple hours just talking about the full gamut of things that are going on in our lives, little fun stories, anecdotes, Christmas experiences, moving into new apartments.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, we wrap it out with a little 30-minute prediction of what we think the next year is gonna look like.
Yeah.
So
we're pretty excited about it.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Enough talking. We'll just go ahead and let you listen to the episode. So here it is, episode 116 of Stream of Thought. We hope you enjoy.
We can just jump into it. I mean, we're here now, episode 116, Stream of Thought.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy? Isn't that crazy?
That's cool.
I just wanna soak in the moment.
Yeah.
The amount of joy that I feel right now that we're able to do this.
Dude, it's funny because when I got to LA, there were so many just little frivolous things that happened to me that I was like, I have to just talk to somebody about this.
I know.
And I'm just like, I need to pod. I need to pod.
I need my pod. Yeah. No, man.
Things.
I mean, and then too, because coming back for Thanksgiving, you were gone, and I'm like, this is so weird. Like, we'd be churning out at least a couple episodes over Thanksgiving. So I left Glen Ellen with that sense of something was missing. And this is just the cherry on top, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just so happy that we get a chance to, from our disparate journeys, California, Minneapolis. So before because I am interested in hearing about how the apartment ended up turning out, but what made you decide to come back?
Oh, my mom wanted me to come back. My mom was like, it'd be because my sister came back from Spain, and my mom was like, it'd be really awesome if I could have all 3 kids in the house at the same time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, yeah, that's fine. And then she was like, yeah, I'll buy your plane tickets. So I'm like, okay. And then she was like, and then I was researching plane tickets, and some of them were way too expensive. I'm like, no way, Mom, I'm not letting you buy these tickets for me. Like, it's okay. She's like, no, I want to buy them. Anyway, she got tickets that were moderately priced. Some were just insane. But, yeah, that's why I came back, because she wanted me to be here while my brother and sister were also here.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So it was a good Christmas, though?
Yeah. Okay, so I don't know if I told you this before, but last year we had said for several years everyone's just kind of like moving away from like buying presents for each other because we're just tired of it. And so last year we had said like no Christmas presents. We're not buying Christmas presents for anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the only person that ended up following through on that.
I know.
So everyone else bought presents for each other. Yes. I'm the only person who didn't buy presents for anyone, like we said we were going to do. And this year it was going to be the same thing.
Yeah.
Luckily, everyone followed through.
Okay.
Except for my dad. My dad got one gift for my brother and myself and my sister.
Okay.
Which was fine. But it's good that I did not bring the mixer and microphones and all that, and we're just recording on your phone right now, because I would have had to bring a separate bag, right? Or I would have had to
like
travel with 2 bags instead of just one.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm not going to go through that trouble. And then once I got here, I was like, oh, I really wish I would have brought it. But my dad had got me like this nice portable record player with built-in speakers, and it's also Bluetooth, and it's this box with a handle on it. So had I brought in all the stuff, I would have had to like check one of them as luggage.
Oh,
screw that.
My goodness.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So now when I'm going to be going back, I have my backpack and I have my little record player. So
Good.
I'm limited to the 2 items.
Yeah.
So that worked out.
That worked out great. Yeah, because I was thinking about that too. I'm like, that would be way too much of a hassle to try and do that. And I feel like phone recording is adequate.
Yeah, it would be adequate just for this.
I mean, the fact that we're able to do this is good enough.
Yeah, for sure. How was your Christmas?
It was good, man. Quiet, very quiet. I actually got all my shopping done before the evening on Christmas Eve.
Nice.
So our family still does gifts and all that.
When your family, I can't remember if we talked about this last year. When you guys open gifts, do you just kind of like open them all whenever you feel like it, or do you do like good? Because you know what drives me fucking nuts
is when
it's one at a time.
Yes.
Every year since I could remember, and it drives me nuts.
Oh, it's the worst. I mean, it's in so many different ways. It's the worst.
Oh,
I mean, not only does it take longer, but all the attention is focused on one person's reaction. And so, if you got a gift that didn't strike that person in the right way, like everyone's watching.
Yeah.
And then I don't know. I don't like that. I don't think my family's ever done anything like that. So, but I've heard stories, and it's just like it sounds like a nightmare.
So stupid.
It sounds like a nightmare. Yeah. So Christmas was good. We all tend to do really sort of practical, thoughtful gifts. It's not about. I hung out with Neil, by the way.
Yeah.
And so I was telling him, there were a couple of things. I think it was the day before Christmas Eve. I was like, there's a couple of things that I still got to run out and grab that I couldn't find online or whatever. And he's like, just get him gift cards. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, no. That like totally defeats the
Maybe
purpose.
I'll just write him a check.
Yeah, right, exactly. Here's a $5 bill.
Yeah.
All right, go buy something nice for yourself. Yeah. So
gift card is like a stocking gift. You know what I'm saying? If
yes.
you're filling a stocking with gum and candy and a gift card. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's standard sort of, small little thing, but that should never be like the gift itself.
I don't know why people go crazy for gift cards, because it's one step below cash. It's like, here's money that I'm giving you for you to spend, but the caveat is you can only spend it in one place.
And if you don't use it,
and you're still going to end up spending, more. You're still going to end up spending your own money, because when the time comes that there's $1.16 left on the card, everyone's natural just thought is, I have to spend this extra $1.16. You can't get anything for $1.16, no. So you end up spending
your own money.
Too.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, never been a fan of gift cards. So yeah, it was a pretty light Christmas though, because for my apartment, my parents' Christmas gift to me was helping me furnish my place.
Oh, nice.
So that was kind of that was
cool.
Mainly it, but there was still some nice stuff like the Bluetooth headphones.
Yeah.
And my brother's present. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So what did you what were the presents that you got your family?
So I ended up my brother probably was the easiest. I'm like, what do you want?
Yeah.
Like what could you use? And he's building his own computer right now.
Okay.
So I got him a power source
nice.
For the computer. My sister, I ended up getting her a coffee mug warmer.
Okay.
My mom got her daily devotional, which she had asked for back months ago. And then actually a practical gift. They're those little like ice sticker things that you can slide onto your shoes. They're like straps. That you put on over your shoes that have little spikes for when it's icy out. Because with our dog, sometimes when it gets slick out, it's treacherous footing.
Yeah.
So
especially with that driveway.
Yeah, right. And those stairs. And then I think the best gift of all was probably to my dad. Well, it was from the three of us. We got off our parents' cell phone plan. I think that's the greatest gift a child could give.
Really?
It's such a millennial present, too.
But the thing is, it's because I'm still with my I'm still with. We're on the family plan still.
Yeah. And we have been too.
And I just give my dad money for my, because if we separate, then it's more expensive for everybody.
Yeah. So my parents have a very bad plan. It's like 10 gigs between 5 people over the course of a month, which, my mom doesn't use data or whatever, but still, 3, trying to keep it under. If you're listening to Pandora, for example, on a regular basis, you're probably going to go over that, a couple of gigs. And it was expensive too. I mean, it was just an expensive plan. I don't know how they had gotten it. I think it's because neither of them have upgraded their phones through the plan. I know my mom hasn't.
Yeah.
But yeah, the plan that I found with my brother and my sister and I are all going on a plan together. Mm-hmm. So we're doing like a sibling thing, which was kind of nice. But $35 a month per person. Yeah. That's like for each of us getting 8 gigs a piece.
Yeah.
Which I would never use 8 gigs in a month, which is perfect. I think that's.
I got this text message saying warning, you guys have used up 90% of your data.
Oh, all the time. We get that all the time at the end of the month, and all of us have to shut down.
And I do, star 3282 pound call, and it sends me a text message just so it breaks it down. Yep. And I was the culprit this month. And this has only happened this is the 3rd time this has ever happened since we all got cell phones, right? And
really?
Where it's a warning. And I was the culprit because I've been using data the whole time.
Yeah, because you haven't had
for almost your own Wi-Fi. So so I finally got Wi-Fi installed, which was a pain in the ass. So I go to AT&T and I set up a time for them to come to my apartment. They come to my apartment, and it sucks though because the guy, he was doing stuff on the outside of the building, and then all he had to do was just plug it in and everything. Except when I went back outside to let him in through the gate because he had to leave, I locked myself out of my apartment.
No.
Yeah.
Oh.
So essentially he's like, well, here's the equipment. All you need to do is just plug it in. And he gave me a breakdown this wire goes here. These lights are going to do this thing. Let it do its thing. It's going to reboot. It was very simple.
Yep.
It was very simple. It's cool, I got it. So I go to work that day. Luckily, I had my work clothes in my car and my spare key underneath my car, right? So I go to work and I'm fine. And when I come back, the property manager is still up. And I called him beforehand and I get into my apartment, no problem. And so then the guy who had said, who installed it was like, hey, if for whatever reason it doesn't work, text me. He gave me his card. It's I'm not working tomorrow, but I know someone who is, and maybe they can come by. I'm like, okay, perfect. So that night it doesn't work. It's plugged in. Yep. It doesn't work. It's the fucking orange light. And then the next morning, I text him 9 a.m. I don't hear back for a couple hours, and I'm thinking, this motherfucker, I know I'm not going to hear back from him. So I call AT&T and set up an appointment.
Uh-huh.
And this motherfucker never gets back to me.
Yeah.
And so then I'm like, hey, you can make the appointment for this day. Would you like 11 to 1 or 1 to 3? I'm like, whatever, fucking 1 to 3. But it has to be, I told them it has to be 3 o'clock. I will not be here any sooner than 3 o'clock on this day. So it has to be 3 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, okay. And then they send me confirmation. And this is all also through text messaging.
Okay.
And I'm getting the feeling this isn't a person. This is automated, I bet. But because when I said it has to be 3 o'clock, the response is, sure. And I'm like, all right, okay. And then they send me all 4 rapid-fire text messages thank you for choosing AT&T to reconfirm, blah, 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 this date, 1 to 3, da-da-da-da-da, whatever. I'm like, okay, it's got to be 3 o'clock. Sure. All right, we'll see what happens. Get a phone call that day at 11:30 in the morning, and the guy's like, hey, I'm here early. I know it's 1 to 3. Just happened to see if maybe you were around. I can't pick up. I'm at work. I listen to the voicemail. I don't have time to call him. Calls me again at 1:30. I get home. I call the guy back, and I tell him, hey, I leave him a voicemail saying, hey, you didn't get the memo, obviously, but when I made this appointment, I made it very clear I could not be here until 3 o'clock, and I was told that you would be notified 3 o'clock. The guy never calls me back. fucking call AT&T or text this shit again, and I make another appointment for another day, and same routine. It's got to be 3:00. Sure, 1 to 3. No, 3:00. Sure, we'll let the technician know. Fucking A, we'll see. And so the guy calls me, and he's like, hey, I'm here or something. And I told him, I was like, oh, I'm not there yet. I'm not going to be there till 3. And he's like, nope, they never say anything to me. But yeah, if you're here at 3, I can't be here any later than 3 to start this up. I'm like, perfect. So I get there, and he installs it, and I don't know what he did, but he just connected it to this little device he has for like 10 or 15 minutes, and then it worked.
Yep.
Anyway, that whole thing from beginning to end took an additional 7 days of my time.
Oh my goodness, 7 days! Right? Holy cow! Without Wi-Fi either. So.
And I'm trying to not burn through this data.
No kidding.
Because we didn't burn through data, but now we're on a new cycle. So now I'm like, shit, I'm like at...
You don't want to...
Already like 2,000 gigs, and like I see my brother's like 670. My dad's at like 250. I'm at like 2,200. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I got Wi-Fi. Everything's cool.
Good. Wow. That's a journey. See, I still actually haven't gotten Wi-Fi, but there's... So it's weird. There's a public access internet that we have at the apartment. I can access it through my phone, and I can access it through my Chromebook, but I have to pay to use it on my laptop, my actual laptop. So I just haven't connected it to it.
If you had an Apple laptop, you can connect to Wi-Fi through your phone. That's not true.
Really?
You can connect. That's not true. You can connect to your phone's data.
Okay. Yeah, that would make sense. But I mean, I can do everything basically off of my Chromebook, which it's worked out nice, man. So yeah, I was like scrambling to get the apartment by December 1st because I wanted to be out of Brooks and Angie's place by then. I don't know where we had left it on. I can't remember when we recorded the last episode where I was in that whole process.
They had said that you were about to look. You hadn't looked for apartments. You were about to.
Yes. Okay.
And that was it.
Yep. So that was a journey.
How was your apartment hunting for you?
It was.
Because I never felt stressed, but I was just like, this is irritating. I just want to get this over with.
Yeah. It was. That's exactly what it was. And so for me, I kind of procrastinated a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I had made some calls and stuff like that. I had gone to like 1 or 2 apartments where it's like, okay, I mean, I don't really know what I'm looking at or looking for. It's a very unfamiliar process. And the date approaches, and it's like, I think a lot of it was my anxiety over the application process because my credit is shit and I don't have an extensive renting history. So it's like, I don't know what I'm going to end up getting. And I'm looking around, and actually, it was one of the first places that I had looked at, and I think that was close to like November 25th or something like that, maybe 24th.
Yeah.
I had gotten a hold of them, and I'm like, I'd really like to move in by... Oh, that's what it was. I had been asking timelines, because no one had like a December 1st move-in. That was the issue that I kept having over and over again. It's like, well, New Year, or like other random dates. And so I found this place, and simultaneously I found another place that was looking for an immediate move-in. That was on Trulio. I don't know if you...
Oh, I looked
You've heard of that site. My sister recommended it to me. And a very vague listing. They make it seem like it's another apartment or whatever. It doesn't really give any specifications. I'm like, okay, well, why not check that out too, and just... during the week before December 1st, I was just going to do a blitz and just go to a bunch of apartments and see what stuck. End up, this is the first one that I visit in that series of ones. I end up, I start driving, and suddenly I realize, like, I'm not heading towards areas that are populated with apartments, right? It's more like rural roads with like single floor houses. And I'm driving through this neighborhood, and I realize this Trulio listing was to like live in the basement of someone's house. So And it's pitch black. There's no. It's kind of like a country road. But it's only maybe 10 minutes away from my work. On the right side of the river. So I get there, and it's this couple that this African American woman and this white guy who I don't know what the woman did, like job wise. I didn't really talk with her, but the husband or the spouse or whatever was like showing me around, and it was one of the more surreal experiences because he's like, we just wanted to fix this up. We thought we'd give somebody a good home who was looking to get back on their feet, kind of thing. Make a little money on the side. So, we really just hope that this is going to be a good home for someone. But then he starts saying, like, so, we're kind of flexible. We're cool. Like, if you want to stay to yourself, like, that's okay. If you want to have a barbecue with us or cook something like together, we can always do that too. Sometimes my daughters are around. They'll come by the house, but I don't think they'll be here too often. Yeah. But just to give you a heads up, they're all over the place, and and so it was just going. And I'm like, this is, my God, no, like this is. They seem like very nice people, and I'm sure they're meaning as well. But I have been living in a communal type setting. Yeah. For basically my entire life, except for that small period of like a year and a half when I had the apartment with Caitlin. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the only time that I haven't been in communal living. I'm tired of communal living. I want my own place.
That's how I was. My thing was like, I'm not living with anybody.
I'm not living with them. And so here, I'm just like, wow, well, that was a great start to it. And so the next day, I ended up checking out the place that I ultimately decided on. And it was by the airport. It was, and that's the other thing too. Along with the move-in date of just like January 1st being the predominant one, there were not very inexpensive places around where I was looking. I know you had said something like, a typical price where you are maybe like $1,300 or whatever. That is kind of that's a pretty average rate for the area where I work in suburban Minneapolis. Okay. It's like between 1,100 and 1,300 is pretty average. And here, like, I do not, like, that would not cover. That would be 50% of my income, and I'm not like, I can't do that. I just can't. So I'm trying to find a place that's under 1,000. Like, just give me a place that's under 1,000.
That seems so expensive for Minneapolis. For like,
the way they tax things, like, there's no sales tax, but their property taxes are just through the roof. Like, really? It's astronomically expensive to live, like, own a place in Minneapolis. Yeah. At least in certain areas, like nicer areas. So it's I ended up finding a place that was a little further away, maybe a 25-minute drive or something like that. And it was under 1,000, and there's a lot of space. It's a one bedroom, so
it's awesome.
It's to get a one bedroom for under 1,000 with probably more space than I know what to do with. Yeah. It's not like extravagant or anything like that, but it's a third floor, so I'm at the top of a 3-floor building. Walls are kind of thin. You can kind of hear the airplanes going over on a regular basis. I don't mind that. It's not really an issue for me. But it's always smell funky too because there's no ventilation. So that's
in my complex there are 4 buildings. Right? You walk in through this gate in between the first 2 buildings where the street is, and then directly behind those 2 buildings are another 2 buildings that are just 2 stories high. And I'm on the 2nd floor, and I'm on the first apartment once you get to the 2nd floor, one of the rear buildings. And it's funny because they have the windows open in all the buildings, and then they got like a fan in it. Okay. But the fan is so funky. Like, you can tell there's just all this like dust and grime that's built up on it. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I'm just like, you know what? Like, I'm about to go to the store, get the same fan for like $12, and just so it looks clean, just so it looks nice, you know? Because I mean, there's nothing with my apartment where I'm like, this is questionable or this is weird. But that's the only thing where I was like, that's interesting, because I was very surprised when I moved in, when I saw the apartment. I saw the carpet. I'm like, is this brand new carpet? I'm thinking, and I think Dave had mentioned it one time, but when I moved in, I don't know if they do this for every apartment once someone moves out. You know, if they completely redo the carpet was completely brand new.
Wow.
When I moved in, there's still, when you get new carpet, those tiny little fibers, you know, that are just kind of littered around the ground, you know, the little tiny ones. So they got brand new carpet. It was freshly painted, and it smelled also like some other work was done, like maybe with the cabinets or something weird like that.
Okay.
So when I walked into this place and I saw it, and I walked through the garden to get there and everything, I was like, I have to have this place. And the fact that it was an affordable place in LA, in the heart of Hollywood, like fucking amazing location, I just still couldn't believe like how it just like fell in my lap. Like perfect location and great price, great price also, and you get like adequate space, fresh carpet, new paint. It's heated, you know what I'm saying? You get all this stuff in return. The only thing is, there's no oven, because I realized, I'm like, whatever.
And this is a studio, right?
Yeah, this is a studio. So I have like I have a little, what's it called? The little mini ovens.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Toaster oven.
Toaster oven. Okay.
I have a toaster oven, and I do have a stovetop, which is nice, like a real stovetop.
Okay.
The fact that I don't have an oven, whatever, because I thought about it, I was like, the only time I ever use an oven is when I make a frozen pizza. That's really the only time I ever use one.
Yeah, that's
true. Refrigerator is perfectly fine. It's not like nasty or weird or anything.
Okay.
And like the you'll see it, but I have like the bathroom seems it's large for a studio.
Okay.
It's weird. It's like, this is too much bathroom for me.
Okay,
I feel feels a little luxurious right now.
Nice. Hey, that's not a bad thing.
But yeah, it was nice. Because before I saw that place, I had put a listing out on. And the weird thing is too, like when you move somewhere, there are so many more places advertising a place to rent than you find online. My entire fucking neighborhood are apartment buildings, and they're all saying, like half of them say like vacant or like 1-2 bedrooms available, studios available.
Yeah.
And none of these places were online.
Yeah.
So all you gotta do if you ever move somewhere, like go there for a few days, walk around the neighborhood, and just make a list of places that you see.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was waiting, I was like, shit, I might have to live with someone for a month or two before I can find this, because I did not want to do another Airbnb.
No.
And so I put a listing on Craigslist, like single, straight male looking for roommate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I saw this one place, and I was like, I really don't want to fucking live here. I really don't want to live with anybody. Yeah. Except just live by myself, but
I know.
All worked out.
I mean, dude, I felt the same way. And the place, like, they hustled to get me in, which was nice. Yeah, so it came down to December 1 when we just had this awful snowstorm that just hit. Ended up getting in, and they made it work. Like, it was a process, but I was able to get that all wrapped up in the course of like 5 business days, maybe less.
That's awesome, because I feel like too, I was telling you in the car how one, it's just a pain in the butt to gather information online, because I was telling you how like some telephone numbers just ring and ring and ring, and you leave a message and maybe they call you back, maybe they don't. If you happen to contact somebody like, oh, this listing is expired, or I haven't figured out how to take it down, we don't have space, and then you go through all that crap, and then you do find a place that you can go look at. You go see it, and the place I saw was like subpar, didn't even have a real sink.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was like a little questionable. And they even were like, oh, we'll knock down your rent. I'm like, no, bro, I'd rather spend more money on a nice place. And my mom was telling me when she bought her townhouse, she was like, it was a little more expensive than I wanted, but I just wanted this process to be over, and I really liked it. And you need to be excited. You want to look forward to coming home.
Yo, totally.
You don't want to live in a place that's subpar and you're just like, I don't even want to be in my own apartment.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it just all worked out because I only saw one place and I passed on it, the place without the kitchen sink, and And then I saw the place I'm living at now, and it almost reminded me of like if you're going through like job applications and you apply to like 100 places, and then you interview at like 5 places, and only one place offers you a position, and it's like, shit, this worked out pretty well.
Yes.
You know, except in my scenario, it was like I saw 2 places and I just
one of them
stuck
worked
with
out.
one.
Yeah, it was,
All the other places, no one would call me back, or there was like something funky or whatever. But
there were complications. That's so funny.
Man.
But I have to tell you, dude, I feel the best that I have felt in years.
Yeah.
I mean, this really was like the last little brick that needed to be put in there for me to be rocking and rolling again into the new year. Because
I found it too. Once I moved there, I have this. I mean, I had a list of like basic things to get. You know, like pots and pans, and silverware, and my bed, and a table. And then as time goes on, like, there's all these little things. There's like this never-ending list of things that I feel I just need to continue to buy things.
Yep.
Like a drying rack and a drying mat. And then I need the little rugs for the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? And, there's a shower head. I need to buy a shower head.
Shower curtains.
Like, kitchen towel, and
toilet paper,
disinfectant wipes, like all these little things that are just like wine glasses.
Yeah.
I had someone over the other night and we were drinking wine out of coffee mugs.
Nice. Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome.
You know?
Coffee mugs.
It's like,
do what you gotta do.
There's a never-ending list of things I just gotta keep buying.
Yeah. See, I'm actually pretty furnished. I pretty much have everything that a adult should have.
Yeah.
You would think, yeah. Got some like beer glasses from my sister too, which like are for the different styles of beers.
That's cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. But yeah, it is crazy though how those little things you just realize that you're missing, like a particular cleaner or like a towel that could be used for like
it's like a can opener.
A can opener. Yeah, seriously, like it's only until you have a can that you can't open that you realize, oh shit, I need a can opener. I have to say though, I did not have a can opener for the first week that I'd moved in, and we had at the office like a potluck thing. Mm-hmm. So I was like, in my head, not really thinking about this, I'm like, I'll do my white chicken chili, whatever, which is chicken, beans, corn, rotel, cream cheese, like that sort of stuff. And so I get everything from the grocery store, and I'm like, I'll just throw it in the crock pot in the morning because it'll take 4 to 6 hours. Yeah. I wake up, I'm staring at all the cans before me, and I'm like, well, shit, I don't have a can opener. Yeah. And so I'm like, well, I mean, I bought this stuff, I gotta make it. Like, I'm gonna make this work. So I ended up using my brother. My brother got me this like steak knife rack with like all these different knives in it and stuff like that.
No way.
And so in there was a pair of like industrial meat scissors or whatever.
Okay.
And so I'm like, I know the gods of cooking would throw me into hell if they saw me doing this, but I used the scissors to literally cut around the cans, and I managed to do it without like gouging myself out on sharp pieces of aluminum. Wow. So it worked. I made it work. I was a little late to work that day.
It's funny that you mentioned the knives, because I bought knives and I was like, I'm gonna get like a nice knife set, and I'm looking, I was like, I want a nice set. Like, I'm willing to spend over $100 on a knife set because I just want a nice knife set, and the knives are like weighted. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
And so I buy this set, and usually what I do is I just use we have like these smaller steak knives, and I just use a steak knife to cut everything. And I'm using like a steak knife, and then I'm like, wait a minute, I have all these knives to pick from. And I'm like, I take one of them out, I'm like, ooh, Santoku knife. This looks pretty cool. And I cut like a piece of fruit. I'm just like, I stop and I put it down, and I'm just looking, I was like, oh my goodness, like, wow. Wow, this is amazing.
Game changer.
This is a game changer. The Santoku knife, I'm like, this just, oh my god, it's like a laser, like hot knife through butter. This thing is just going through the fruit. I was like, this is amazing. And then what I do is I'm cutting orange for my blue moon, right?
Okay, yeah.
And I remember, like, I was at a bar the other day, and I had like an old fashioned, and they have the little orange peel, and they twist it, and they, drop it in. Like, I'm going to do that. I'm like, wait a minute. If I recall correctly, I believe this knife set has what they call has a paring knife. It looks like it can be used to fillet things. And so I had an orange, like a quarter of an orange, and I lay this, and I eat the orange, but I lay this motherfucker down, and I take the paring knife. Ooh, baby, I just fillet this motherfucker. And then I twist it and drop it in, and I'm just like, I'm feeling a little fancy right now. And then what I did was, the next day I took the same quarter slice, and I sliced it. I didn't slice it from the very end. I went in like 1/8 of an inch in, right? And then I sliced it. I think I sliced it all the way down, or I made some type of slit. I don't know what I did. I did something where the piece, and I cut it down the middle, and so you have two pieces like a letter V.
Yeah.
And then I like twisted them, and I curled them, and I stuck the pieces into a little horizontal slit that I made. And now I'm like, I'm feeling extra fancy right now.
Oh my God.
So now I'm feeling like a world-class chef, because I got this stupid knife set with the paring knife, and I'm just filleting the orange for my blue moon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. You really have acclimated to LA well. I have to say, that is such an LA thing to be excited about.
But it was funny because then I'm at my mom's the other day, and I'm drinking a Blue Moon, and I didn't have an orange with it. I just had the Blue Moon. And I was like, you know what? It's not the same.
It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Right. The luxury.
Yeah. But it was pretty nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, you were able to transfer to Aldi there without any issues, right?
Right.
And you just started working
right
away.
Yeah. So let me get you started.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of backstory.
Yeah. Here we go with
this journey.
It was funny because, like, I was talking to someone the other day about this, and I was like, this is another hangout session altogether, diving into this whole Aldi thing. So I didn't talk about it very much. I just briefly told her like what was going on. But I was telling my brother, because he used to work for Aldi, so he knows exactly what's going on. Anyway, I transfer there, and this store, for whatever, it's a newer store. It's slightly bigger than the one in Glen Ellen, and for whatever reason, dude, I found out very quickly things do not operate the way they should. Like, I did not realize, my manager Karen in Glen Ellen told me, like, you'll realize when you go to other stores, like, they don't run efficiently as this store does. And obviously because Glen Ellen's real affluent, one of the presidents of the company in the entire country lives in Glen Ellen. And, like, we just run, it's just like clockwork in Glen Ellen. Shit just operates so well. And I'm sure in the district in Wheaton, too, it's like the same thing. Well, it is, because I used to work there, too. But this one that I'm at right now, when I was talking to people, they're like, oh, yeah, like, we're here until at least 10:30, 11 o'clock when we're closing, sometimes midnight, maybe even 1 o'clock. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, what do you mean? I'm like, what do you mean? What do I mean? There is no reason to ever leave the store past 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. No reason. There are a few exceptions. If for whatever reason you just kind of fall behind, someone calls off, maybe 10:30. There's one night a week where you have to do price changes where it's normal to leave at 10:30. But on any given night, if you leave at 10:30, that's late. It's acceptable, but it's late, and it happens on a rare occasion, you know? But usually we're out the door at between 9:45 and 10 o'clock.
Okay.
Right? This place, 10 o'clock, that's early. 11 o'clock is like the norm. I was there one night till 1 o'clock. I had 1 week where I closed every fucking night, and I was going nuts. And sometimes, I guess the load, which is the pallets of all the food, sometimes it just doesn't get done that day. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, that has to be done. You fucking stay late past your shift in the morning to get this done, these pallets done. Yeah. And then it's like sometimes the cooler and freezer pallets don't get done. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Wow.
What is happening right now?
No. Wow.
And the other thing too is like, it's so fucking weird because, and they say it's because like I think they're short, they're understaffed. But I also think that, well, whatever. But the other thing too is like, at this store, there's the store manager, and then there's 4 managers in training. So there's 4 individuals that are training to become a store manager.
Yeah.
And then there's myself and another shift manager, and then there's like 3 associates. So what that means is I'm spending a lot more time on the register than I ever fucking did here in Glen Ellen, right? Because what happens is you have there's too many managers. Mm-hmm. So those managers are going to be spending time on the register. Usually in Glen Ellen, there's 4 managers and everyone else is an associate. So as a manager, you never are on the register unless it's an absolute necessity, right?
Yep.
So not only am I staying at this motherfucking place until 11 o'clock midnight, but I'm also spending like 2 or 3 hours on the register, at least 2 hours probably every time that I'm there, right? On top of that, it seems like there's no sense of urgency with things. Like when something, especially produce, when something's out, you fucking fill that motherfucker, right? Whereas here, it just doesn't seem like that. And then the other thing was they don't consolidate. Like when you have the produce pallets in the morning, when you're done working the load as a manager, you work your fucking ass off to get everything consolidated. So instead of 7 pallets, you have 3 or 3.5. And they don't do that there. So I'm walking into this place like, what the fuck is going on? Why aren't you operating the way that you should? Mm-hmm. I need to get the fuck out of here because this is driving me nuts. So I came to the conclusion that Aldi, it served its purpose.
Yes.
It has served its purpose. It was 5 minutes away from my house here in Glen Ellen. Love everyone from Glen Ellen. Great experience there. Obviously, you deal with bullshit, but overall, great experience. Come to Alhambra, questionable. But I had a job upon coming here. It was able to provide me with pay stubs and a transfer letter to get my apartment.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And now I'm just like, you know what? It served its purpose. I need to get another job. What's nice is like I'm not like I don't go into work right now in California like hating work.
Okay.
It's just like it's just now on the radar. Like okay, if I get another gig by like March, that would be cool. Just to be in, because this is in Alhambra. This is in like in traffic. It could take like 45 minutes to get there.
What?
Which in my mind, I'm cool as a cucumber because I'm in California and it's warm outside.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get to the point where I fucking hate my commute and hate my job. Mm-hmm. So I am right now looking for.
Well, you got to settle in, man.
Yeah, I'm settled. Yes.
You got to.
I'm totally settled.
Acclimate, and then.
I am settled now. So
now
the next
2019 is gonna be.
Next move is get another gig.
Oh, so
and like, the other thing too is like I'm longing for routine, right? Because this shit where it's like work from 2 to midnight, and then sometimes you work from 6. It's like now it's like okay, I need a routine where I'm just somewhere every day from the same time for the most part, and I can have my weekends off and I can have my holidays off.
Yep.
And what was great too in Glen Ellen, like I had fucking I carried some weight, you know. I had a little bit of power, you know, because Karen was so nice. She was so accommodating to any time I'd be like, hey, I need to work on these days. I need to not work on these days.
You were.
And like moving things around. And it was great. It was so much more flexible than it is now. And Selena was great giving me time off for Christmas and everything. But it's not as malleable as Glen Ellen was in terms of like moving my schedule around and everything.
Yeah.
The other kicker is this, bro. As a result of there being the 4 managers in training, right? Mm-hmm. Every time they show up to work, they are getting paid as a manager in training.
Yeah.
In Glen Ellen, every time I show up to work, I get paid as a shift manager. With the exception a couple times it'll be like 1 or 2 associate shifts, which means they're paying me less to do essentially the same thing.
Yes.
And Karen would always last minute be like, I changed it to shift manager because of the way they have to work the budget and everything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And here, I'm like, wait a minute. Why am I only scheduled 1 shift manager shift this week? And the rest are associate. Since I've gotten there, bro, I've never clocked in as an associate. I've always clocked in as shift manager because I'm not fucking taking a 40% cut for doing essentially the same shit.
That's insane. No.
Even if I even if I didn't do the manager shit, even if I was just only did associate stuff, and I didn't turn my key or do whatever, you know what I'm saying? I'm still dealing with bullshit, and I'm not putting up with that for the associate pay. Yeah. You know, they're gonna find that shit out eventually. You know what I'm saying? Eventually,
so they don't know.
No, they don't know. I've been clocking in as associate manager every fucking time.
That's awesome.
So eventually, it's gonna come to their radar. Like, wait a minute, he's been clocking in, and what's gonna happen is they're either gonna talk to me and make me. I'm going to play dumb, and they're going to make me clock in as associate, and I'll be made aware of it, or I'm going to get fired. So that's another reason why I got to jump ship and...
Yeah.
You know.
That's what I'm like fire right now.
Yeah.
Fuck with their budget, man. You never know what'll happen.
Yeah, so...
Wow, that is epic.
We'll see.
Just play dumb. Play dumb.
It was funny because the other day, this guy's like, oh, hey, this other district manager was there, and she's like... The guy told me, he's like, oh, so-and-so wants to talk to you in the office about wages. I'm like, oh... Fuck. I knew they'd catch on. I didn't think they were going to catch on this quick.
Seriously.
But, so I go in there. I'm planning this out in my head. Like, how should I do it? I'm like, be aloof. That's the best. Plead ignorance. That's the best route. As opposed to, I know I'm supposed to be an associate, but... No. Plead ignorance. Be aloof. I go in there, and they just had to talk about, like, wage increases for 2019. Yeah. And that was it. Walked out of that alive.
Yeah, right. Anxiety, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
I have to say, man, having a steady 8 to 5 job is, oh my god, like, I enjoy going to work too.
Yeah.
Like, I love what I do. And there's a new round of hires coming up in January, so I could be looking at moving from contracting to an actual employee of this company, and it's like this is a legit company. This is one of the better.
It's a global company, right?
It's global, yeah. BASF is. Although we're going through these like sale negotiations where they're going to be selling off the construction systems division, which is the one that I work at. So we're probably not going to be BASF for much longer. But regardless, like everyone, I can't tell you. I heard maybe a dozen times from different people. You need to get hired as an employee because of the benefits. You need to get hired because of the benefits. And it's like there is something like 4 weeks vacation a year. There's like 2 or 3 weeks, maybe 4 of paternity leave, like 6 weeks of maternity leave, and so the medical
maternity or paternity?
Paternity.
Father, 6 weeks paternity. Okay.
No, maternity. 6 weeks maternity, like 4 weeks paternity. So
that's like nothing.
If you're a father,
6 weeks.
I don't know whatever the standard is. Yeah. It's the standard, or better than the standard.
In my personal opinion, it's got to be at least like 3 months. That's me.
Yeah.
You're a little baby. And after 6 weeks, what are you gonna do with the baby? Unless if you have grandparent or parents.
No, yeah.
Parents, right? Whatever.
It's whatever it is. I don't know what maybe it's 6 months.
Because when I saw Perry, she is just right now. She quit her job and she's just taking care of her kid and her husband is working full time, has his own business. And when I was at their house, like and her baby is like 6 months old. She's breastfeeding little baby Ford like every 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you need the mom needs to solely focus on the kid for a long time before.
I think I was confusing weeks with months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. But anyway, we're on this tangent. Continue.
No, it's totally good. So, yeah, I mean, basically, it's been one of those things where I love the people I work with, like, which is a huge thing.
Yeah.
I love what I do, which basically, to sum it up, is solving people's problems.
Yeah.
Like solving fellow colleagues' problems, which is just awesome because you get to like learn the ins and outs of a very complicated system.
Yeah.
So it's very technical. It's very like a lot of investigative work.
Okay.
And it's a blast. I love going in every day. The time flies too. I can never get over how, like, I just don't have enough hours in the day to get everything done. But I'm like simultaneously working on maybe 6 to 8 different projects at any given time. It's fun. It's great.
Nice. It's good to hear.